Hello, equestrian world. It's Hannah from H&M Equine. So, it's been a while, clearly. So I think my last video was like a DIY thing for mane and tail. Yes, that was it. Okay, last video was like a DIY mane and tail spray. So, today, I think my video is going to be about me, how I got Gent. It's a crazy story. Very interesting. So, yes. Okay, so let's get started. So, basically, I had been riding for a while, and then I came home from a show, and I, never returned to the barn. I don't know why. Then, a year later, I'm like, I need to go back to the barn. So I did. So, yeah, I went back to the barn, early February, and then I stayed at that barn all the way through July. So, yeah, that was cool. So, around that time, I'd been, really thinking about getting a horse, because I always wanted one, clearly. What girl doesn't? But I had been getting really, really good with my riding, and my knowledge of horses was expanded. So I started, looking online for different horses, and there was this one horse that I saw online. I don't remember what website it was, but I liked it a lot. His name was Sir Maverick. It wasn't the real Sir Maverick, I don't think. Anyways, so I'm like, hey, this is a great horse, and he's in Colorado, because that's where I am. Colorado. Right. Okay. So, yeah, I'm like, hey, I really want this horse. And so I created a PowerPoint presentation on poster board and I wrote down all the different reasons why I should have a horse, why I should get a horse, and I called it Project RTIIAH, Reasons to Invest in a Horse. And then I filmed it. I filmed myself giving the project, and then I posted on YouTube, on my personal YouTube, and then I sent the link to my mom and my dad. And so they watched it, and we started talking about it and decided, let's get a horse. However, I almost got scammed several times online, which is why I don't trust popular horse buying websites, because people just go on. So there were several times that I almost got scammed. That was fun. Anyway, so I was looking at good barns to board at. So I called up this one barn because I knew my cousin had gone there, and its old location was right next to my house. Old location. The old location. They moved. So yeah, I called him up and I left a message saying hey, I want to board a horse here. Can I do that? And then about a week later, I got a call back saying, hey, you can board here. It's great. As a matter of fact, I have a friend who's selling a thoroughbred, and I'm going up there this Monday. Do you want me to bring him down for you for the week? And I'm like, this is the first time someone actually agreed to let me test out the horse before they're like, oh, buy him. And I'm like, yeah. And my mom's like, yeah. And my dad's like, yeah, okay, sure. So we did that, and it was actually really great. His name was, they called him String. He wasn't in the best shape, really. He hadn't been ridden in a while just because her husband had a lot of health issues. But the lady was really, really nice. She was a little surprised at first when she realized at the time I was only 14. So she was like, oh, are you sure this is the person I talked to on the phone? I'm like, yes, I promise. Because I was explaining my experience with horses, and so she was really surprised to see this tiny little girl walk up. Like, hey, it's me. I'm tiny, but I can ride the horse. Anyway, so I rode him and I worked him, and he did really, really good. I don't think I couldn't get him to really pick up his leads just because he was so weak and he couldn't physically do it. So, but I brought him back anyways, and about into the week, we realized this horse is lame. So, because his back right foot, I believe, the hock was sickled, but, and you could tell in his trot. So we're like, oh, we're not going to buy this horse. So we left him there, and we're like, sorry. And so she hadn't gotten a chance to bring him back yet, back to the person that I got him from originally. And so yeah, I went to Florida, and then I came back, and then I went to go drop off the check for like the board for the week, and so I dropped it off, and she's like, hey, do you want to go down just for old time's sake? And I'm like, sure. He was fine. Like, he moved beautifully, and I got him to pick up his leads, which was absolutely amazing. I took him out, and I ran him up a hill, and he started cantering. I'm like, oh my gosh! And before that, I had been riding, like, almost all summer, I'd been riding little tiny Arabians. Tiny ponies. He's like a 16-3 horse, and he's a thoroughbred. So his canter, I literally thought he was galloping, and I'm like, hold up, what's up? But yeah, that was his canter, and it was like this adrenaline rush, and I'm like, oh, this is cool. This is so cool. And then I realized, dude, he's just cantering. Big horse. Okay. So yeah, we worked things out, and then we, so he had awful, let me tell you something about Jen. His teeth, they're awful. Like, disgusting. Like, my vet is, she's so sad about it. But, so I was gonna get his teeth floated, and the lady there, she does her own floating, which I think is so cool. So she's like, yeah, I'll float his teeth. So we went there, and there were, sheriff guards. I'm like, oh, that's not very good. So, yeah, we kind of stayed there all day. Turns out she had this really, really old horse that she was going to euthanize, but her friend's like, oh, wait, no, don't do that. I'll take him off your hands. And so she did, and then she's like, oh, this horse is awful. So she called the cops on the lady, and they came at the time where she was just getting to, like, all their water and stuff, so these horses had drank all the water, and they had this huge thing of water, and they drank all of it. So she hadn't gotten to fill it up by the time they got there. And so, yeah, things weren't looking too good.
Your mom was there.
Yeah, my mom was with me. She's like right over here. But yeah, so I was talking to one of the cops, and the cop's like, hey, you need to get this horse out of here, because, and I'm like, he's not mine yet, but I'm gonna buy him. So he's like, you need to get him out of here within the next 24 hours. Otherwise, we're taking him with all the other horses. And I'm like, oh no, please don't do that. So we got his card, and I called my trainer, and I'm like, hey, so fun story. I need to get Gent off this property, or else they're gonna take him from me. So, yeah. So she worked out with one of her friends to pick him up and take him to her barn. So that worked out. However, I felt so bad because that's the day she got engaged. I'm like, oh no. Everything worked out though. They just had their wedding, and from what I saw on Facebook, it was like a small wedding, and it was really, really cute. And I'm so happy for her. You know, she's in Florida with her husband. I'm like, oh, they're so cute. Anyways, so yeah, this lady comes and picks him up, and she's like, so that day, after we dropped him off, after we left, and waited for the lady to come pick him up, I sent a check to the owner, and I'm like, hey, I'm buying him. I sent the check in the mail. Can I have him? So technically, when we took him off the property, he wasn't mine fully, because I didn't have his papers or anything. So the girl's like, do you have any of his papers? I didn't have his, what am I thinking? His registration papers with the jockey club. I had a copy of it, but I didn't have the actual one. And I didn't have his, I can't remember this. I didn't have his, what is the thing that it's not their board, it's, hold up. I didn't have his brand inspection, that was it. Alright, so I didn't have his brand inspection or his bill of sale, because, you know, there was no sale. Not yet, anyways. Anyways, the lady's like, alright, is it okay if I take him off the property? And I'm like, yes, please. Please, just, let's go. And if they decide to press charges, they can't, because we have this sheriff. We have his card, and I can call him up, and he'll say, yeah, I told him to get him off the property. So it was all good. I ended up getting him back to the area, back to the other property that I was riding at the time, to his new home, and we put him in the pasture, and that is basically how we got Gent. A little bit later, I got all those papers that I needed got them signed, and I got them mailed to me. But yeah, it's almost been a year. 4 more days. If you guys check my Instagram, I'm doing a countdown. It's really cool. But yeah, I just recently now found the lady who I bought them from on Facebook, and I'm like, oh, this is so cool. And I friended her, and then I scrolled down, and I found a picture of Gent, the very first picture that I got of him. It was on my old phone, and I never saved the picture, so I don't have it on my new phone. But it was the first picture I ever saw of Gent, and she's like, hey, this isn't my thoroughbred that I just sold about a month ago to a girl, and he's now working to be a jumper, and he's in a nice, happy home. I'm like, yes, that's my baby. Yay. Oh. All right, well, that's the story of how I got Gent. Thank you for watching. If you aren't already subscribed, please subscribe. And if you want to follow our Instagram, it's at hnmequine@gmail. No, that's the email. At hnm8.8. Hold it. At h.and.m.equine. I'll put it down below, but that's mostly it. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you later.